Wade
and Wade Reacts. We're going to get into this review for Star Wars The Acolyte, Episode 4. We're going to tell you if we enjoyed it or not, and if you haven't seen it, should you even waste your time watching this series. This show started off decent. It was different from the last episode, which was a flashback. They had a long quest of sniffing out the enemy, literally. They had to find May, right? That's the evil one.
Yeah.
The fact that, to track her down and, doing a lot of stuff that was lore breaking, I would say, in this one. But outside of that, this was a decent episode.
Yeah, I think so too. Episode 4 was a step up from episode 3. But that wasn't hard to do. Any regular episode would be a step up from episode 3 because it was that bad. And then episode 4 became sort of interesting. We didn't know who the Sith Lord was. They threw everybody for a loop and started the conversation of who this Sith Lord could be. A lot of people think that the Sith Lord is possibly the man that traveled to that planet with May. And it seems like it because when he got tied up in May's trap, once the Jedi passed through that same area, he was gone. And when the Sith appeared, the Sith had the same or similar robes to that guy. But rewinding a little bit, May decides that she's going to turn herself in for some reason. Mm-hmm. She's going to turn herself in to the Jedi so she can be reunited with her sister. So she goes to talk to the Wookiee Jedi, and we see that he's dead. And they didn't even show the fight scene that preceded his death, which we believe they should have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was whack to me, how they showed that the Wookiee died off screen. I know they're going to have a flashback, which they showed in the trailer. You're going to get some lightsaber action, but it's meaningless now that he's dead. And like people were saying, at least the lightsabers are lethal again. Cause
oh, yeah.
It's lightsaber. I think the only person that can die to a lightsaber in Star Wars is Qui-Gon. He's the only person. But outside of that, like you called him the other day, you had Darth Tithius showing up and messing up the Jedi when they tried to charge him, which to me was stupid because they let him, set up. He put out his lightsaber, he showed it to May, then he looked at her and flung her. Then they wanted it. That's what I didn't like about this episode, that it was too slow, and it was only 22 minutes, I think.
Dang,
and it was still like too slow. They wasted too much time on the fetch quest trying to find May. And then what they should have did, they could have had an extra 10 minutes on. Just show the Wookiee die, show how he died, show that fight.
Yeah, they could.
I would have appreciated that.
They should have showed that fight between the Wookiee and the Sith Lord to add some action to the episode. The only action we got out of this episode was Master Soul cutting down that bug.
Yeah, a beetle.
A beetle. And then Osha was so sad about Master Soul having to kill that bug because it was trying to attack them. But if she would have never touched it, the bug wouldn't have tried to attack them. But then at the end of the episode, we see the Jedi's facing off with the Sith Lord. We know that when Jedi and Sith see each other, the fight starts. When you sense a force opposing the light side of the force, you instantly jump into battle. They would not sit there and look at him and wait for him to make his move. I thought that they should have engaged and started a fight before the episode ended, because then that would have given the fans something to look forward to. All we got was him force pushing all the Jedi, and their combined force ability wasn't even enough to defend against it.
They didn't even try to defend. They just got knocked across the room, the forest. And that's what I was just, I guess we'll see. We gotta wait till the next episode, but this show, the episodes don't really make you care. Like, dang, do I really want to see the next episode? But hey, we're YouTubers, and then we're gonna watch the next one. But at the end of this episode, I did not really say, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen, because they're gonna have to die, because it just doesn't make any sense for them not to die. And then what we seen in episode 1 with Ki-Adi-Mundi saying that the Sith have been extinct for millennia, and then that's another problem, because not only did he say that, he was in this episode with the Secret Jedi Council talking about the rogue Jedi, and then I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know. To me, like I said last time, people thought the last one was lore breaking. This episode to me is more lore breaking because I don't know how they're gonna explain that.
Ki-Adi-Mundi being aware of some suspicious activity and almost thinking that the person that was cutting down Jedi was one of their own. So for him to receive reports that the person who was cutting down and assassinating Jedi was not one of their own, and then to turn around in episode 1 and say that the Sith have been extinct for millennia, that makes him out to be a liar. That makes it seem like that character was disingenuous to cover up the tracks or the investigation that secluded Jedi Council or the secret Jedi Council was carrying out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's just not making no sense. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're gonna have to clear that up. And this, I mean, I don't understand the inclusion of that character. Why did he even have to be in the show?
Right.
They could have picked any other Jedi to be at that meeting, but they decided to pick him. But, you know, maybe they're gonna do something, but that's a strange decision to me.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. It's not consistent with the history of Star Wars. If they would have created a new character that knew about this, then fans wouldn't have this problem. There wouldn't be this big contradiction for fans to talk about between this series and episode 1, or the statement that Ki-Adi-Mundi made in episode 1.
Yeah, and going forward, because this is not just a Star Wars problem, this is a Disney Plus problem. Man, them 20-minute, 30-minute episodes on an 8-episode series is crazy. Why isn't every episode at least a good 40-something minutes?
Right.
That way you wouldn't have, because this episode, they're trying to do a lot in this episode. They try to establish some type of friendship or relationship between May and then Master Soul's new Padawan. And it was like, to me, that interaction between those two characters wasn't even earned, because outside of this episode, we only seen them interact once, and she was trying to tell her how to fix the ship.
Yeah. They have to do a better job at establishing relationships between characters. And like you said, you can't do all that in a 20-minute episode, so you got to give yourself some time to be able to flesh out these relationships and to be able to story build properly and add the proper detail into the stories that are needed to make this series enjoyable.
Yeah, and they gave the flashback characters more character than they did the actual characters that were following through the story, because I don't care anything about the two sisters. I don't care anything about the Jedi in the current era. The only thing that I care about is figuring out who's under Darth Tithius' mask. That's the only thing I care about.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only interesting thing about this series at this point. Who in the world is Darth Tithius?
Yeah.
Who's under that mask? Is it the guy that traveled to the planet with May, which it seems like that is him? You can make a good argument for it being him. Or is it one of the mothers that's possibly survived the slaughter of the witches?
Yeah, that's the question we're going to answer. And then, is Darth Tithius, is he the master, or is he an apprentice, and then May is his apprentice and he's going to try to overthrow his master? That's another thing you can throw out there. But with these Star Wars shows, you can't really let your mind wander too far, because you end up having a better idea than them.
Exactly. You let your mind wander too far, then you start to wonder, why come you don't have a job in Hollywood? It's like they never do the things that you feel would be a logical direction to go in. It's always something that's like, why did you mess up the little thing that you could have used to save the series? Instead, you went directly away from it in the complete opposite direction and further destroyed the series.
Yeah, and then going forward, for as far as the most powerful Sith, there's Palpatine from Rise of the Skywalker, and then there's this guy in this show. Because I haven't seen a Sith be that powerful. He threw all, Darth Maul wasn't even that powerful when he showed up. And these are trained Jedi Knights. And he threw all of them back like they were nothing.
Exactly. You got a master in the ranks as well. We know not all Jedi are created equal, regardless of rank, when it comes to their force abilities and their saber skills. But man, all of them combined were able to get pushed back by the Sith and none of them had a response. None of them thought to be on guard. I mean, they did draw their sabers, but that was crazy. Like you said, that's one of the most powerful displays of force abilities that we have ever seen. It's up there with what Darth Vader did in the Obi-Wan series.
Mm-hmm. So from a scale from whack to masterpiece, where does this episode sit?
If this episode, or if this, if this episode in this series was not connected to Star Wars, this would be a decent episode. But since it is connected to Star Wars and it's connected to the bootleg series that is the Acolyte, at this point is trash. It was decent, a step up from episode 3, but that's not saying a lot though. Anything could be a step up from episode 3. If they just aired soap opera and called it Acolyte, that would have been a step up from episode 3. So I can't really say that it was good, but I'll give it a decent rating.
Yeah, in honor of Disney Plus, I'm going to give this episode a whack plus because that's what it was. The pacing was whack. They didn't have any urgency in a 22-minute episode. And then when Darth Tithius finally showed up, which I do like the way that he showed up floating like that. We've never seen it.
Never seen it.
We've never seen any Force user fly, but I like how he showed up like that. But he didn't really do anything. He just, hey, I got a red lightsaber, I'm here, and whooped on all the Jedi.
You know what? I'm going to have to level down my rating to whack as well because they did not show the fight scene between Darth Tithius and the Wookiee Master Jedi. It would have made sense if they didn't reveal that there was a Sith in this series in the trailer. It would have made sense to show him be killed off screen because then you would have had something to reveal. There would have been a mystery for the fans and the viewers to solve. But since you revealed them, it didn't make any sense not to show that fight scene. And that fight scene would have made this series or this episode in this series a lot more exciting.
Yeah, I think they're going to do something even worse with the Wookiee. I think, because how the Wookiee died, he was sitting in that chair. I think the Wookiee accepted his death the same way Master Receding Hairline did when he was floating. That's what I think happened.
That's why he accepted death. He couldn't live with that hairline, could he?
Yeah.
Master, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Master Boys and Men. That's what he was, that whack makeup he had on. But hey, that's been our review. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.